share it, pro rata. And essentially that was the same process. We've done 8, I guess, movies or so now, and we took it out, and people wanted it. And then one of the things that was really appealing about Netflix was that they were open to this idea that we've been trying to institutionalize, and was like, okay, great, that's really meaningful, because ideally it becomes a template that other people go, hey, we want to do that thing, and then we go, oh, here's the paperwork.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people say that they would want to do it, but now the template exists, so it's like plug and play. So if you're not full of shit and you really do mean that, then guess what? Just take this and
it also is going to let you, I hope, like, manage the risk. In other words, the argument you always have is like, well, shit, we got to invest all this money in the movie, so you can't have your protagonist be too objectionable, that's too edgy, or can't be R-rated because it costs this much. I get it, right? You're going to put all your money into it. You don't want money to fucking disappear. You want to make money, okay. So when we wrote the first movie that we're in, Good Will Hunting, it was like, we knew that had to be a cheap movie. People talking in rooms to each other, because no one's going to put a bunch of money into a movie.
Into a movie with us.
Two assholes that no one heard of. So it was like, okay, what can we do that's interesting and try to keep it as inexpensive as possible so that we can make the argument that someone should make the movie. That same logic carries through every time you're asking somebody to invest in something. So what I'd like to have happen is to say, okay, now that we know there's a reliable system where we understand that in success we'll actually benefit, we can lower the price up front for you, so that you can have a low fucking barrier to entry, so that you can take the risk, so that we can do something really interesting. That's an original idea. That's that's an Oppenheimer or a Sinners or a fucking Marty Supreme or whatever it is. And then if it's successful, we're not all sitting here like assholes where, you guys walk off with all the money, and you can have that happen in an ongoing way so that you can make more interesting stuff.
A lot of the stuff that was going on with the strikes was centered around AI and what AI is going to do to the business. Like, where do you feel is going to be the biggest problem with AI? Is it going to be with people's likenesses? Because there's a lot of that where they want to use extras and own their digital rights forever, essentially be able to recreate them in any kind of film. But then there's also, you're going to have films that are written by artificial intelligence. You're going to have scenes that don't involve people, and it gets weird, right?
It gets really weird, but it's actually an area of expertise for him.
Yeah, we've been spending time looking at this. My belief is sort of like, what's going to happen with electricity? Well, a lot of shit's going to happen with electricity. Some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to change stuff, some of it's going to be is going to be shit that kills a bunch of people. It's opening a door that you can't say, well, talk about it in a kind of a blanket way.